play in the isolated world of Icewind Dale, Rime
where
of the
characters are
Frostmaiden.
covered in cool scars and multiple injuries.
Absolutely. Until
Or we have the blood of heroes, and we're just immaculate after every healing.
That's another way to look at it too.
I mean, the worst thing about Avalis is his combat mullet, honestly.
You know, combat mullet gives you power. Just ask Ray Cyrus. Well, if anyone is interested in earning a point of DM inspiration, I would love some recap rolls into chat to see who gets the chance to earn that inspiration.
What are we doing?
Doing inspiration? Icewind Dale? Dungeons and Dragons?
Where are we?
It'd be cold up here, yo.
We're outside of Bryn Shadow.
I think our buddy Akia's had a memory leak.
That's appropriate. I don't know if he's like riffing on us right now, if he's doing a bit. Are you doing a bit?
A little bit.
You're doing a little bit?
I remember where we are now.
We're outside of Bryn Shander. You guys did a little travel, did a little talky talk.
Yeah, yep, I remember now. I remember. It's been a long week.
Well, would you say it's been a long December?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I'm trying to get into Foundry, and I keep just getting a white page. So let me kill that instance and try to get back in.
Where'd we leave off?
Jason and Alicia.
No, I mean, no. I asked the wrong question. What I meant to say was, where was the split of last session? Where did we start last session?
Long rest in the cave.
No, we were meant to fight.
Was it? Oh yeah, it was meant to fight.
Matey, don't you remember this outrageous voice?
Yep.
I tried to immediately forget it.
Oh no, it's
the
the curse has
this
returned.
The voice that haunts your dreams, my lad.
You guys were encountering the pirates at the bottom of Loch Dineshire.
Oh no, Orph is giving the recap.
No, I wasn't.
Listen, you won the roll, so you gotta commit. Otherwise, abdicate.
I'm ready if Orph is ready. I didn't know if you got in.
I'm in.
All right. Yep. So last week we were in combat. We were down at the bottom of Loch Dineshire, trying to recover a treasure that we learned about from the hag that we killed, and we found it. And we activated sort of a trap, sort of like encounter. There were some Draugr guarding it. We were fighting the Draugr, defeated the Draugr. Once we defeated the Draugr, we tried to lift the treasure chest up and back to the surface. However, when we did, a ship that had gained sentience and basically turned into a giant ship mimic, thanks to the power of the statue of Umberlee, stopped us. And right before we got into combat with this ship, whose name is Phantom's Requiem, that I think Gaiman has tried to convince that... what was the name that you convinced them they should go by?
Oh, PBR.
Yeah, it sounds like a reference to something I don't know about. Anyway, so PBR said that that we couldn't have the treasure that was his, and we requested some parley. We talked for a long time, but Phantom's Requiem, he was just trapped in Loch Dineshire. All he had was the treasure chest. That was it. That's all he had. At the bottom of a frozen lake. Nothing. Such a lonely, sad existence. And we were like, we can't take this guy's one item. This is one thing. This is his whole identity. Um, we're like, what do you want? And he was like, I just want to leave. And if you give me that hag heart, I can. And we were like, oh, that's such a sad story. So we gave Phantom's Requiem the hag heart, and it became an ethereal ship long enough to pass out of Loch Dinishir, and hopefully get back to the ocean where it belongs, so it can be a sailing ship. But we got some cool magic items, one of which is a telescope-like device that we can look somewhere and PR will show up and have a pirate ship friend. And he was really cool, and he looked like a giant shark ship. It was really cool. Got the treasure chest to the surface, found some nice treasure inside, some gold, some spell scrolls. Akia found a compass that points to all sorts of different things. Got lots of nice stuff. There's some hands that might attack someone in the future. That's going to be fun. We then started talking about Rebel's End and the deal with Lotus, and right about the time when things started getting kind of high tension, Star Whisper showed up, told us that there was evil going on with the statue of Auril back in Bryn Shander. At that point, Alicia sort of took off while we were bickering back and forth about what we were going to do. And then we took off probably like 2 or 3 minutes after Alicia. And then we RP'd a lot. And we talked about Lotus and how basically everyone's like, this is a bad idea. You've made a poor decision doing this contract. And Lotus is like, I'm going to see my dad. And yeah. And then we came up with some stuff, maybe. Some other bad ideas that she can try. And now we're, I think, maybe sitting at letting the dogs rest. And we're just sitting, letting the dogs rest, having a nice old talk.
Excellent. You can give yourself a point of DM inspiration. You might need it for this upcoming session here in Rime of the Frostmaiden. Now, I have supplied everyone a fact inspiration question because I was told that everyone's brains are feeling a little squeezed after the last few sessions of coming up with their own fact inspiration question, which I completely understand. So, our question for this week: what float would your character create for a parade if, let's say the city of Bryn Shander is like, we're having a parade. We need you guys each to make a float. We can't have any filler floats. We can't have any floats representing the town militia or the town's fire crew. We have been told that those floats are not very cool, and some people even consider them lazy. I'm not speaking from personal experience, I promise. So, let us begin with the Lotus. Lotus, tell us, what type of float would you make for the Bryn Shander parade?
Well, I think it would probably be the animal that any native of Baltimore or the state of Maryland in general would be familiar with, the all-purpose, the blue crab, because,
Not the blue tabaxi.
Watto's a cool guy. It's like he doesn't have like an ego. It's like he would be very embarrassed by that because you know how he is. No, but the blue crab, and it's like you would have like people dressed as crabs. You would have like crab, crab cakes, crab legs, all sorts of crab stuff, and also the entire base of the float would just be recreations of the tin can of Old Bay.
Oh my gosh. Well, that sounds like an amazing float that I would love to see.
So what you're saying, it makes you happy, makes you not crabby.
Yes,
Mm.
exactly.
Well, thank you, Lotus. You have earned Faxpiration. Continuing on this float train, I would like to know the float of Avlis, our druid. What would you bring to the Bryn Shander parade?
It would be the most basic ass float. Like Avalos did not understand the assignment basically, and it would just be like a plain, completely unadorned like trailer. Like, just a flatbed, just with Avalos sitting on it, looking very confused.
What bonus question for Avlis? What type of treats would he throw for the kids to pick up?
Oh, I think honestly he would just toss Red's berries. Just
Mm-hmm.
just single berries, and if a kid eats more than one, he's going to be severely bloated and cramping.
Like what happens to me when I eat too much edamame. If you guys want to do a funny experiment, see how many bags of microwave edamame you can eat. Just kidding, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Avlos, you have earned Faxpiration. Alicia, could you tell us about the float that you would bring to the Bryn Shander parade?
I think they would probably have a big plan of making a float with roses, different colors, red, orange, yellows, all in the image of like a sun, and then immediately realize that it's going to be difficult to find something probably like that in Icewind Dale and have to readjust their color scheme. Probably see if they can substitute it for probably still trying to keep yellow in there, but maybe shift a little bit more towards like white, and then do something kind of similar in that vein.
I think that sounds really cool. A sun-based float giving reverence to the Lord Lathander. I think that would be an excellent float, and I think that would fit in with the personality as well. You have earned Faxpiration, and we've earned Fanspiration. Thank you, Pockets. Well, now that we've known about your float, Alicia, let's ask Game in the Glaive about what float they would bring to the Bryn Shander parade.
Yeah, so I think the sort of float I would make, it would be mechanical in nature. I mean, it'd still be pulled, but like I would be there like using a rowing machine, and like my my muscles are powering like the big puppets that I've created, and it would be a float to honor Tempest. Tempest, lopping off the head of a bad guy, that sort of thing, and it just. The axe is coming down. Off with the head. The whole thing resets as I'm like it's cycling through on the gears.
Oh, 100%. I could see how that would make sense. Gaiman, let me award you a point of Faxpiration. Well, I believe we have heard about everyone's float, save for Akia. Akia, could you tell us about your float?
Well, as I am to understand, I believe that in the D&D lore, Cholt has these animals called dinosaurs.
That's correct.
And Akia, having lived in Goodmead, where their ancestors came from Cholt, I believe you said one time.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Akia is very interested in these animals that they have tales of. So, in a double combination, the same thing that he would make for a float would be the same animal that he would hope to have in Gaiman Zoo, which would be his favorite dinosaur, the Stegosaurus. It would just be a giant inflatable, just very standard Macy's Day Parade style Stegosaurus.
I think that would be awesome. I would love to see a Stegosaurus float. Well, yeah, you have earned Faxpiration. Let me ask you all a quick question. Now, were we all still in transit, or had you all made it back to the city of Bryn Shander at the end of last session?
Well, I guess it would depend. What time of day was it when we completed the whole diving in the lake thing?
Looks like 5:20 a.m.
Yeah, we were kind of
Is that correct?
Yeah, we were kind of asking about the logistics of like how long it would take to get to Bryn Shander from that side of the lock.
Well, thankfully, you guys still have magical booties upon the feet of your doggies.
Important clarification.
Yeah, unfortunately enough, I don't think everyone in the party has magical booties, so I don't want to make anyone else feel bad. Now, it would probably still be dark by the time you guys got back to Bryn Shander from your spot, because the whole adventure to the bottom of the lake didn't take too long in the grand scope of things.
Well, I guess I guess the answer to that question depends on if anyone else has anything that they need to say when we stopped and rest.
So, I'm not sure if the question was still answered. So, 5 in the morning. That's still correct, right?
Mm-hmm. And if we are traveling to, if I look at our 10 towns map, we're on the side of Loch Denishire, kind of close-ish to East Haven. Close-ish, I will say. I'm looking at our tiny little by dog sled. I'm looking at my handy-dandy spreadsheet here. Okay, so it'll take you guys roughly probably 2.5 hours to get back to Bryn Shander from this side of the lake by dog sled.
I've got a question that might be relevant. I don't know. Are all of the towns trying to rebuild? Or have they sort of like, have most of them given up? Or is it like...
The rebuild effort has really only been spearheaded in the town that I'd like to call Yetiville, whereas most of the other towns have kind of acquiesced to just being refugees in the remaining 2 towns. So until there is a major effort brought up by major NPCs or player characters within the party, most of these NPCs are just willing to stay in Bryn Shander until they are told to get the H out.
Okay. And I guess the other thing that would come up, Lotus, I don't think we're going to get a long rest anytime soon because we just came up from a long rest.
It's all right. I've had that discussion with one of the other players and with Orf. It's cool. It's, my thing. I've been kind of, it's me just having to sort of like think about how to manage my resources more effectively. That's on me and none of you guys. All right.
But you guys could take a short rest. I don't believe
Which,
you guys
if
could take a
we
short rest.
do, I can use my Rememberaz Vow to get back 5 sorcery points. So that is something.
Okay, yeah, because
but,
from the logistics
it's
thing,
just a wee small matter of Alicia on a fucking warpath back to Bryn Shander. So why don't we, figure out what we're gonna do before we take a rest?
well, I think the map would be accurate. So, like, about halfway to Bryn Shander, Alicia would have stopped to rest the dogs after running them for a while, and then you guys would be able to catch up. And then we have the whole thing that we were talking about in Discord. And that would fulfill us having a short rest right there as we're having our discussion.
All right.
Yes, where it ends with me telling Alicia that, like, you giving me that advice saying, like, Alicia, you say that, you kind of sound like my mom, and then quickly adding in, and I mean that as a compliment.
Let's see.
One thing I would like to point out, Lotus, is with the whole business of whether or not you should do this, only you can make that decision because we're going to support you, but there are going to be certain lines we ain't going to cross. But I will say this, maybe you need to dig a little deeper, see what your options are. I know people aren't on board with the whole blackmail business, but that might be the easiest way to go about it if we are going to do some skullduggery. So, there it is.
I do think Akia had a good idea. We can talk to the sheriff, tell him that we need to bring
Why?
we need to bring Valish Gant back here for
Why?
questioning.
If he's so dangerous that he's at Rebel's End, what on God's green earth is going to possess him to move his house back to Brinchard? Huh?
Well, could tell the sheriff that some new information has come to light about the protection rackets, and we
Right.
need
So,
to question him further.
okay, when you push him further, it's a lot easier and safer if we go to him than he comes to us. They are not gonna go to the time and expense of shipping his ass to us. And then there's just a wee small matter of who's gonna be the would-be robbers that jump the prison transport. That if they agreed to move his ass down to us, we'll be guarding them. I think a subtle approach is best. One where we can, pull on certain people's levers and avoid a fight of any sort. Which is saying something coming from the guy who likes to fucking fight all the fucking time. Yeah, we're getting into some pretty grey dark waters on this.
Well, there are ways we could get in. I mean, Asmodeus did give me this, and you see her take out the magical key. He says it can open any arcane lock. I mean,
How many times? And not to mention, you've got Metal Man, heavily armored lass, my big arse, and yeah, we ain't what you call subtle. Listen, I'm not saying don't explore your options. It's just you got to address the challenges as they come up. So if you can come up with a compelling reason of why he needs to come down here, it's got to be big and powerful. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. If you can research, put your what you would call it, investigatory skills into the war. Put him under the magnifying glass. Find out what you can about him. Maybe that's an option. Maybe it's not. Maybe he's squeaky clean and we've got no leverage. But before we just write things off and you think we're being a bunch of, naysayers, investigate.
Well, that would be good. I mean, certainly wouldn't be the first time that I've investigated a corrupt public official, though, as I mentioned before, the last time I did, I ended up inside of a jail cell.
Right, so you've got to be subtle like.
Well, I haven't had too much use for it, but I am able to disguise myself. Something that might be useful for that.
There you go.
As this conversation is happening, what are the druid Avalos and our party's artificer Akia thinking or waiting to contribute to this conversation?
I think Avalos is still flying overhead Alicia, right?
I think it is when we all met back up.
Oh, we all back.
Yeah.
Yep. We all stopped for lunch.
Then Avalos would still feeling a little awkward and left out, or not left out, but on his own, I think, would probably stay in druid form as long as he can until he's forced to come down, and then very awkwardly like tend to the dogs.
You know, you are allowed to be around us. We don't bite. I mean, they definitely do.
That's true. Do you have something to say?
Not particularly. Just you're part of this. You know, you're part of our pack. I mean, I know you can shapeshift and whatnot, but I mean, you're Ponty a dwarf, elf, and so you hang out with us.
Very well. And he will sit down right next to Gaiman and just look at him.
Are you giving me that exact look?
Pretty much.
You know, it's a sad turn of events when the incredibly socially awkward has to tell someone else who's incredibly socially awkward not to fucking stare.
Oh, okay. And who did that dog thing where the dog like is looking at you through their like peripheral vision and then like occasionally like looks over and stops when makes eye contact?
Because they've just been told that they can't have any of the dinner.
Yeah.
Look, it's my understanding. I
do have a question, actually,
All right.
Gaiman. You had previously shown interest in Tempest, the storm god of war, I think.
Yeah,
Do you still feel that way?
I do. It's something I can get behind. Fits in my lifestyle.
Have you tried to talk to Tempest?
Not recently. How are you getting on with Sylvanas? I mean, are you chit-chatting away?
Actually, I was thinking my connection feels deeper, and I could, much like I believe Alicia can do with the. I'm so sorry. Is it Lathander or the Morning Lord? How do you refer to your
It
god?
is officially Lathander. The Morning
Okay.
Lord is one of his nicknames.
Got it. Like Alicia with Lathander, I can commune with my god and ask them a question, like for guidance, but I don't know what sort of thing to ask.
Well, I guess it kind of depends on who you are, what kind of relationship you've got. I mean, I'm kind of new to this whole Tempest business, so I kind of feel like I've got to prove myself and shouldn't be going around asking favors.
I could ask if Sylvanas knows Tempest.
I mean, probably. Yeah, but I mean, there's no need for you to ask on my behalf. I mean, what do you want?
And Gaiman's gonna like poke you in your chest.
I don't really want for anything right now.
Well,
Sylvanas
I mean,
provides.
there's wants and needs, and also there's like a hierarchy of what's important in life. And it could be something, far off, not necessarily an immediate need.
Oh.
or want.
You're right. There is something. I want to hunt the dragon.
The fuck? Really?
Yes. The white dragon will be mine.
You say hunt it, as in you want to kill it.
Not necessarily. I don't want to upset the delicate balance that Sylvanas strives for. But if the dragon did stray out of line, then yes, I would hunt it. But I do want to, or I would kill it, but I do want to challenge myself. And I think if there is a worthy quarry or prey, then it is he, or rather it. Perhaps she, I really don't know.
You're going to challenge yourself into an early grave, mate.
Well, you said something far off, potentially.
All right. Well, what's the preceding steps to get there? I mean, that's an awfully big fucking ask. But Sylvanas, I won't be able to fight this big white dragon.
Well, there's the Red Yeti, I suppose, which would be before the dragon.
All right.
And I would want to know why it shares my face, at least in the vision.
Okay. Well, that seems like something God might be able to help you out with.
Hmm.
Or you should ask Sylvanas about your connection with this Red Eddie, or what the significance might be of you seeing your face on its body.
Yes, that is a good idea. And with his, completely outside voice and no, custom social cues, he'll just yell out, "Alicia!"
Yeah.
I want to commune with Sylvanas, but I have not done so before, officially, like ritualistically.
Wait, I thought you said you talk to your God all the time.
Oh, I do, but not like in prayer and meditation, but direct contact is something new to me.
Wait, wouldn't your God be confused? Like you're trying to talk to him to a different way. Like, why are you trying to? I mean, no offense, Alicia. Why are you trying to talk to your God Alicia's way when you've been talking to your God your way? Wouldn't your God better understand things if you're the one asking your way versus you asking her way?
Well, Sylvanas, while is worshipped by those of the wood like myself, he is also worshipped by a more formal order as well. He has paladins and clerics and priests, just as he has rangers and druids.
All right.
Well, hold on. Maybe there's a little bit of a clarification. I've never actually directly talked with my God. I've prayed, similar to what you've done, meditated. I mean, I do have a spell that I do know that allows me to ask questions, but it's kind of more of into the realm that he owns, not so much directly to him. I have heard that there is a way to directly contact them, but I have not learned of it just yet.
Well, I will try then to meditate and ask a question directly and see if I get an answer. My goal is to ask about the Yeti, the Red Yeti, now, since the dragon is too far off. He kind of looks to Gaiman for like a nod.
Yeah, as you're all discussing this like meditation, asking God, it's like it was just sort of like stroking her chin. She's like, back on my world when I was younger, my mother and I would regularly go to church. It's a church dedicated to Bahamut, and we would meet other Dragonborn and recite hymns and all that stuff you'd normally, and we would pray to Bahamut for good luck and for good health, and all that stuff. And I honestly never really thought much of it.
I will see and let you know if Sylvanas answers me. And I think Alice will go off on his own again, just to the outskirts of the camp, and kind of sit down cross-legged and start drawing symbols in the snow, and start meditating. And he will ask his question, which I will put in a private chat to you, Orf.
As you go to meditate, can you roll me a D100.
Yes. $47.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, is it like 1 through 50? They do or don't answer, and then like, oh crap. All right.
So you're going to begin your meditation, and you're going to send me the question you're going to answer.
Yes.
As you all are making camp, your NPCs are busy doing their duties when you guys break for camp. You know, taking care of the dogs, taking care of meals, all of those type of tasks. As that is happening, we haven't heard a lot from Akia so far. Akia, do you have anything to add to the conversation that is happening at hand before you all make the final leg of the trip back to Bryn Shander?
I don't. Not to this conversation. I am taking a lot of interest in this compass though, and I think when we break for lunch, I'll stop working on the great axe for a little bit, and I'm gonna just try to use it, locate creature, and just say, just to see if there's just any like squirrels within 1,000 feet.
Any squirrels within 1,000 feet?
Yeah, just gonna be like, or like whatever small mammals I would know that live around the area, like snow rabbits, stuff like that. I'm just gonna see if there's like any, little woodland critters within 1,000 feet, and I'm trying to click it, and it's I don't know how to click it off of here.
Oh, and I think there may have been a bug with the magic item module that, allows us to make really cool magic items that then put the spells onto your character sheets. Because for some reason, it's not been letting anybody do the thing. So you're using the locate creature component, which costs you...
It'll be 4 charges out of 10.
Okay. I think you can, what's the word? Just mark off the charges manually. But anyways, you are able to locate small woodland creatures within 1,000 feet of your camp. And it is using the compass, it would be like right on the edges because you guys have such a large number of people with you and such a large number of dogs with you. They're going to want to kind of stay clear of your path as much as they can possibly can.
Right.
Okay. Dogs are scary. Yeah. I say that because a few summers back, my dog Dolores killed an entire nest of squirrel babies that were in our backyard.
Oh shit!
Well, they should have known. This was a dog backyard. No, I'm just kidding. Circle of life. Anyways, you're able to find those, Akia. What you do with those, the coordinates to those creatures is up to you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sort of go over in that direction and if it seems like it's working, Akia will just take just a little bit of comfort in seeing that there's just some wildlife still alive up here without sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to enjoy that for a little bit.
I love Akia's innocence and purity.
And and then just whenever we take off again, start working on Lucille again.
Perfect.
Alicia, you good?
Yes, I'm good. Why? Is there a problem?
I don't know. You got pretty fucking pissed off. Just, boom, took right off.
Oh, that wasn't anger. That was more worry than anything.
All right. Well, why don't you share your worry with us?
I'll be honest, I'm quite worried about what Priestess Sybil and the rest of the Church of Auril uh, does within 10 towns. So I think just upon hearing that something was going on with the statue, just, I guess, got my hackles raised.
Fair. But I mean, we got a child of Oral with us. He wasn't exactly thrilled with your reaction. Uh, uh, can't believe I'm being a diplomatic one. But yeah, I think we need to find a middle ground. I mean, I'll get it. I don't trust those beggars as far as I can throw them, and I can throw them pretty fucking far. But it's a bad feeling. But I mean, we're better off together than we are, alone. I mean,
Akia will come up and interrupt. I don't like the Church of Oral. I just don't want the statue to not get a fair chance.
I apologize if I made you all worry. It's not like I was going to go there for, I guess, for a fight or anything like that. I am just highly curious about whatever this statue is doing. If it is just being used as art and for worship, then there's no issues there with that. But if it's being used for some other thing, I would like to at least know what that is. I guess
The
it was
road
more
is-
it was my curiosity that was kind of being raised.
The road is dangerous. Please be careful.
Fair point.
Alicia, I know what it's like to spend your life thinking that you have to face things alone. But remember, you don't. You and the others have been here for me. Let us be here for you.
And they'll kind of return a bit of a slight smile to you all. I guess in my hastiness, I kind of overlooked some things, and now I'm the one who's being given advice. So this is how it feels. No, but you're right. I apologize.
There is something I did want to ask you, or really anyone, and she opens this up to the rest of the party and the B team as well. This mention of, everyone talking about gods and beliefs, and here, I guess being a sorcerer, there's something curious about. What do any of you know about Mystra?
The goddess of magic.
Yes,
That's
which
probably the very base of descriptions, quite honestly, but that's what she's mostly known as.
see, that kind of threw me for a loop when I first read about her. When I first got to Bryn Shander, because my Weave phone that I mentioned to you before, you see, you give it voice commands and it can do various things, and it has a sort of she's kind of pauses for a moment trying to find a way to word it, a personality of sorts that even has a name, and it went by Mystra. So whenever you would want to do something, I would say, hey Mystra, set an alarm for 6 a.m., or hey Mystra, add milk to my shopping list, or hey Mystra, play Bones from Imagine Dragons.
Alicia starts laughing and then stops. Well, those are quite basic tasks for the goddess of magic to be asked. That is very strange, yet interesting.
Yes, in a way, I almost hope I never get to meet her, because I'm sure she would want to punish me for all of those times I asked her to rickroll someone.
Hmm.
Wait, every time you rolled somebody?
She grins, and you just hear her just sort of sing softly, "Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down."
And that's as far as we can go before we get DMCA.
Hmm.
What do you mean you're gonna let me down? I don't understand. I mean, you could pick me up.
I don't know a whole lot about Mr. I'll be quite honest. I think I may have some additional materials back at, um, I think either Michonne's shrine or mine back in Targos. Uh, just additional information in case you're looking for it, but you would have to go there.
All right. Well, if we do stop by there, I think it'd be. I would like to look into it.
But I guess speaking of which, are we continuing onward?
Did I get any sort of answer, or
Yes. So you get a feeling more than words from your answer. You feel a emotion of kinship. You know, when you see someone that you haven't seen in a very long time, when you are coming home, that's the type of feeling you get from the wind, from the snow touching your skin, and from the soft breeze blowing through the coniferous trees nearby. The second
Ablis?
emotion. Oh, go ahead.
No. Please continue. My apologies.
The second emotion you get, you feel pins and needles going up the back of your spine, like you haven't felt in a long time. Not since you had your coming of age test that would prove that you were a Yeti adult have you felt this kind of terror and this kind of anticipation from the feeling of nature coming back to you. That's what you feel from the nature around you.
Super clear. Thanks. So,
Hey,
Ablis,
if you want direct answers, that's commune, my friend.
Commune. Yep.
That's a 5th level spell. We ain't got it yet.
Avalis rejoins the group and just looks completely lost, and confused.
Avalis, you all right? You seem a bit more distracted than usual.
He just looks at you and goes, no. I am not.
Not really sure what to do about it. She's like, would you like some coffee?
Do I want coffee? Sure.
All right. She holds her mug up to you, and you can tell it's very strong, very bitter, and very black.
He smells it and kind of says, no, thank you.
She just shrugs and says, more for me.
Well, are we ready?
As ready as I'm ever going to be.
Excellent. Well, with the call that you all are ready for action, your allies will give you the nods of approval, and they will get all the dogs ready for immediate departure back out into the wilds of Icewind Dale. The next hour is quite quiet. You do not hear the sounds of animals or the cawing of birds filling the tundra, nor do you hear distant lightning storms. All is fine for the moment as you make your way back to Bryn Shander, which takes the better half of an hour, which would put you guys arriving back at Bryn Shander close to 9 a.m. When you arrive back at Bryn Shander, your approach is a familiar one. You see the gates, but something is wrong. A chill deeper than the biting cold that you suffer in this terrible weather starts to seep into your bodies. Once decorated with the standard of Bryn Shander on the outside walls, has been changed, adorned with a different symbol altogether. And I will
goodness.
drop that symbol into chat right now.
I bet that can't possibly be the Church of Auril.
Those of you who may or may not have a good memory, not even a good memory, a decent memory, know that that is the symbol of Auril, kind of a loosely stylized snowflake covered in kind of silver iconography.
Now, I as a player forget, but I do remember every time we come to the gates of Bryn Shander, it's the friendly dwarf lady who would usually come to greet us. So if she's not there, Lotus definitely would know something's up.
Well, she can't be at every gate, Lotus.
Now, this is not all that you see, not just these symbols. The edges of the gates seem to be tickled in fairy fire, ghostly blue light casting an eerie glow on the snow-covered ground, kind of surrounding the entrances to the city of Bryn Shander. The
I
gates,
like the new decoration.
usually open, are now firmly shut, guarded by stern-faced sentinels draped in heavy cloaks emblazoned with snowflakes. Their breath visible in the air.
Lotus will look up and say, is the, are you, guards for the regiment? I don't believe the regular folks have, informed me of this. You think they would, being the Thane and all that?
Well, as you draw near these new guards, a familiar face kind of pops out from the palisade above the gate. You would recognize Augric Brighthelm, the familiar face in the town's guard. However, a grave, solemn expression has replaced her usual jovial demeanor. As she delivers a different sort of welcome to you all as you come into the gates. Hail, travelers. Tread with respect as you are under the gaze of Lady Frostkiss. keep yourselves cloaked against the chill. Here in Bryn Shander, we obeyed in her shadow, and she points in the direction. Those of you with keen mind, or just, decent memory, know she's pointing in the direction of the Church of Auril.
I need no cloak to hide myself from my mother's embrace.
Damn. How does everyone react when Akia speaks of the Frostmaiden in such terms?
Wouldn't say anything, figuring that Akia knows more than I would. I just let them take the lead.
Gavin just sort of looks at him like, damn. Okay, then.
About an hour ago, Akia was saying that he would have liked to have given the statue a chance. Having seen the drastic decor change of the town, Alicia is a little more skeptical now, and is just not saying anything, but very much like, this is not right. Something has drastically gone wrong.
Moose will call up and say, like, it's good to see you again. How is your family holding up?
She looks down to you for what seems like the first time, and she says, "Oh, it's you. Welcome back. You all have been gone for a couple of days. I hope your journeys into the wilds were fruitful."
Yes, they have been. I don't want to keep you too long, but has anything interesting happened?
What's with the
while we were gone?
redecorating?
Yes, that.
The gates bear the sign of the Frostmaiden as a sign of reverence and protection. We close them now for safety. These are even more uncertain times, and Auril's embrace ensures our survival through the harshest of time.
Lotus will sort of think that over. He's like, yeah, Auril's protection would have been really amazing to have while that Shardolin dragon was flying around destroying everything.
There are others who
Dragon did
whisper
help defend Bridgender.
against Auril and her protection, longing for summer days. As you look at her, you get kind of a good look. You see that, her normal attire has kind of changed. She seems to be wearing white, grays, and pale blues, and her tabard is emblazoned with the snowflake of Auril. You also see that her hair has changed, as it's been styled to almost mimic icicles. And Lotus, I don't know if this is triggering for you or not, you notice that she has frosted tips.
Doesn't really do anything for Lotus, but out of character, it's like, damn, that does look cool. Eh.
I didn't know if there was any connotation with frosted tips on her world. Anywho.
Are we allowed entry?
Her fashion is met with an icy reception by us.
As you continue to give her the cold shoulder, she will say, "Yes, of course. Those who rescued the citizens of the now called Two Towns are always allowed in. Especially you, Midwinter child." And the gates will begin to crank.
Akia's eyes, one of Akia's eyes twitches slightly.
Hearing them mention Akia, Lotus, not wanting to rock the boat too much with the uncertainty right now. We'll just step to the side and say, "After you."
Captain Obvious will pipe up and say, "I fear the balance in this city has changed."
Mm-hmm.
As you all kind of look into the city of Bryn Shander, you see that the streets are now lined with kind of miniature representations of Auril, kind of like almost like snowmen built by children. There are also now banners, kind of giving reverence to the Frostmaiden, kind of lining the streets, hanging from buildings wherever you look.
Been a busy 2 days. We weren't gone that long at all.
I imagine probably this is something that the church has probably been planning for quite some time if they were able to get this done so quickly.
I'll get the feeling that was wandering into a trap.
Oh, I think you're probably right. I did have a question. It's like, I'd imagine at some point we'd probably walk by it. So has anything happened to Lotus's Thane Cottage in the intervening time?
So the gate guards will usher you in. Ongric will say goodbye to you all. And the gates will kind of close behind you as your companions kind of shuffle in behind you. And your dogs are brought in as well. And the kind of the door kind of goes crunch as it closes, as the snow is pushed aside to make room for it. So the goal is, let me take us to the Bryn Shander map. Okay, and you guys are going to head towards Lotus's Thane Cottage to see if anything has happened to it.
I know we just talked about not running.
Only
off.
I can talk. I'm holding the Thane cabbage.
Okay, now I have to put the magical item into the game of the Thane cabbage.
Respect the Thane cabbage. You cannot take the rules in Thane. That was a bit of a stretch. Sorry, everyone.
Sorry, I'm writing myself a note about the Thane's cabbage.
Well, we don't necessarily have to do it right away. It's like we can. It's on the way. We can.
It's not.
It's like
It's past the church.
church. Yeah, we can stop by church first.
Yeah, I think we need to do that.
Yeah, it's like we'll just mass later.
Okay.
I would actually vote to go to the House of the Morning Lord first if that's where Alicia wanted to head.
Alicia's beeline
Same.
it there.
Yeah.
That's where more
Yeah.
of us live. Although I think Aki would actually bring up like getting a better place of residence where we weren't constantly, especially Akia and Copper, in constant risk of blowing up Alicia's place of worship.
But that's part of the fun.
For who?
I think
For
I think-
me, I'm a part of it.
I think Akia feels a little restrained there. And then like Gaiman's always sleeping at a tavern and I have no idea. And no, wait, yeah, I remember where Ablis is. Akia will just let it be known that they kind of want their own place. Not necessarily their own, just a place that's not the inn or the House of the Morning Lord. Or Lotus's place because it's too sticky.
As you guys are moving around, would you
What
like
do you-
any other flavor of what you're seeing as you're walking through town?
Yeah,
Kind of,
Alicia's
Yeah,
kind of taking in
what's the
everything.
mood? Are there children playing in the streets? Like, or is everyone just sort of shut in?
Okay. Well, first of all, you see that all of the town's folk have begun wearing more austere clothing, favoring whites, grays, and blues, symbolizing, the Frostmaiden. And you see that the cloaks or shawls that they have wore are now being adorned with frost and ice patterns that seem to be the dress of the people that were made up of the Church of Auril. You see their faces almost appear more drawn and wary. And hair, beards, as you look around, are all kind of styled to look like icicles, and they have those frosted tips. As you go about, typically people would, taking inspiration from I think my favorite opening to a movie, where people would say, bonjour, hello, and, sing about books and all that sort of stuff, and maybe about a certain huntsman. I don't want to get us, as Lex was saying, I sing the whole song. That is all stopped. People have shut down their warmth and friendliness. There are no smiles seen, as people hold a tight grimace. Even the children are dressed in the colors of Auril, and they seem to be less playful and boisterous, as they seem to almost be practicing a certain strange dance as you all are moving through their streets. Those are kind of the vibes that you guys are getting as you're walking through town.
This is not right.
Yeah. I'm not liking this. Not liking this at all.
So is like the House of the Morning Lord like? Is there a guard standing by, like an honor guard of Auril, kind of like you shouldn't go here sort of deal, or are the members that would of the church hanging out inside?
So, as you approach the Church of the Morning Lord, it appears to be, in all intent and purposes, in well-working order. You don't see anything wrong from the outside. There doesn't appear to be bricks put through the windows. There are no jackboots waiting outside to potentially start beating anyone who would try to enter. The vibe just feels
Cold.
off. But cold, yes.
Alicia will kind of rush up to the doorway and kind of start knocking on it. Sean?
The door cracks, and you see that looking through the gap are the familiar blue eyes and blonde hair of Michonne, and she says, "Thank goodness you're back. Everyone quickly, come in."
Immediately give her a hug.
She hugs you back with intensity as she looks incredibly relieved, as if she was in the desert looking for water.
What in
All right.
this is going on?
It's okay. I'm not jealous.
She says, as
Simmer
she looks
down,
at you,
Tiger.
Avalos, she says, "I've never said this in my life, and I've only read it in books. But I could use some sugar, baby." And she looks at you, Avalos, and grabs you by the shoulders. And she is about to lay a big wet kiss onto you. Do you stop her?
I don't think he knows what's coming, so he'll just
Jamie
let
looks
it
away awkwardly. The PDA is making him feel uncomfortable.
Oh, sorry. More sugar later, baby. Now
She nods.
everybody's uncomfortable.
She will pull you all in and say, I have had a hell of the last 24 hours.
Yes, please. It's very concerning to see what has happened, and if you could enlighten us, I would love to hear more.
Since you've been gone, the Church of Auril almost gained the supernatural ability to finish that statue. It was as if inch by inch, brick by brick, they completed it. And with it, everyone in town couldn't keep their eyes off of it. They just flocked to it over and over. And with it, they approached the church. And one by one, new members. Until nearly the entire city became indoctrinated.
Lucis's eyes go wide hearing this, like, everyone, you mean, like, what about the sheriff and speaker?
She looks to you and she says, they are some of the only ones who haven't been.
I'm surprised that they had enough material for all those clothes.
She looks at you like, that's what you're worried about?
I mean, it's a fair question. I mean, like, how they can rustle up all those clothes? I mean, they could have used that beforehand if they were really concerned about doing good works. You know, clothing, keeping people warm. I mean, did they use an army of children to make all those robes? I mean, that's a valid concern right there. Child labor's no joke.
Modus nods, being very familiar with that from her world.
Has Sybil given any type of address to the citizens?
He comes out at night. It's too early for her now, and addresses them, giving them sermons, praising Lady Auril, bringing more and more over to their side with each passing day. The city is almost nearly the faithful of Auril. I believe that statue is creating some type of power that allows her to do so.
I mean, is it actually, you know, putting off power, or is it just perception of power? Because, you know, I used to have about this average, you know, intelligence of other folks around here. Looking back on it, we're pretty fucking stupid.
Judging by the guards outside and everything else that we've seen, I think this is more of a magical kind of compulsion.
No shite.
Is anyone feeling magically compelled to go look at the statue now?
I mean, not magically, but considering it's a source of all of our trouble right now, I kind of feel like we're gonna have a butcher's.
Does anyone...
It does bring up a good point. Does anyone feel more compelled than normal?
Blarton, Icewind Dale, and Cooper all hold up their hands, and you recognize a common thread between those three. Unlike Saynar, who is an undead mummy, Red the Berry Bush, who is indeed a berry bush, Watto, and even Akia 11, they all don't have any touches of magic or otherworldliness to them. They are salt of the earth.
Personally, I kind of feel like ignoring it and heading north.
She just looks at you.
Yeah, hearing that, I guess, Lotus and Wood, along with you, Alicia, I just imagine we both turn at the same time and just kind of glare at you. Yeah.
These people.
Akia just
Oh, go ahead.
probably maybe makes eye contact, maybe kind of just looks around, doesn't really react.
Time and a place, buddy. Time and a place.
Everyone had a far more happier demeanor as they were going along their normal days. Here it seems like they've all just been consumed with lethargy, and this is not normal, Kia.
No, I suspect that there is a magical compulsion.
One
Just
that is
to be clear, because it does. You all do seem concerned, often, with my feelings surrounding Auril and the church. So, I will go ahead and say now, to make my standing clear, I have no love for the church. I think they're a bunch of jerks. And I do believe that robbing people of their free will is wrong.
That was what I was getting at. If the people wanted to worship Auril of their own free accord, that is totally fine. But once this thing came into place and has now robbed them of that choice to do so, that's definitely not right. Would it be okay if we at least go to see what the statue is about? See with our own eyes?
Are you asking Akia?
Yes.
It's... Yes. I mean, if we're staying in Bryn Shander, we might as well go see it.
You did mention, Akia, wanting a place of your own. Perhaps once we have resolved this situation, I might be able to talk to the speaker and maybe see if we might be able to arrange something.
Thank you. I find that I am acquiring much more stuff than before becoming part of this group.
I'll let you know now, Akia. As your life continues, you will acquire more and more stuff. I would recommend maybe keeping a limit on it. I remember someone from my world said that if you want to know what you should or shouldn't keep, just ask yourself, does this spark joy?
Well, hold on a second. Hold on. You can always get a bigger golf bag for your weapons, but you just never know when something's going to come in handy.
Exactly. If I had a place of my own, it would be a nice place to store things. I had one in Lonelywood, but you know, with the dragon.
Yes, of course. But, well, it's your place, and you're sure free to do with it as you wish.
Akia just sort of nods.
All right, so we just gonna, go for it? Just fucking send it? Or do we want to come up with a game plan?
Well, the Lady Michonne here has told us that the speaker and the sheriff have managed to resist the influence. Perhaps we should find them and, see what they have to tell us about what's been going on. See if they might offer any other insight as to what's been happening since we were gone.
Well, the council hall is on the other side of Brinchander, but we're going to be passing by the church.
We might
Or
learn
if we decide
more.
to circle around and avoid the church for now.
We'll probably learn information very quickly if we simply go see the statue. Are you worried
Yeah, very
about?
quickly, we're gonna hit a bit of fight. I can feel it.
Are you worried about running into Sybil?
Very much so. That, and also, well, as I am the Thane here, I do worry, even amongst your company, still worry for my own safety with this current situation.
If you like, we could all go to the church, and I could approach the statue on my own to investigate it. I have plenty of techniques for identifying magic.
Well, if you're gonna get up close and personal, I'd best go with you.
Well, that was our original plan, for you two to investigate the statue, and
Yeah, but that was before everybody became all uptight and well, organised.
through. If they suspect something from either of you, you would be very outnumbered. Well, not that I don't think you wouldn't be able to handle yourself, Gaiman, obviously.
Listen, I'm not looking for a fight. I'm plenty happy to finish one. But I'm making sure my mate's doing alright. That's all I'm looking to do. But I will say, this is some fucking bullshit.
I certainly agree with you on that.
So, OOC, we want to just take a vote, see if we want to go to.
Yeah, I think that's best.
Okay, we'll
All
just
right.
take a vote. Snowman or sheriff/speaker.
All right, let me pop in the poll.
And I'm assuming if we're going to see sheriff/speaker, we're taking the long way around, so as to avoid a fight.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Is Lotus's B team member still Raylan?
Raylan and Watto.
Okay, just wondering.
So far, we have 2 votes for Snowman, 1 vote for the speaker. Now we're at 2 and 2. Oop, now we're at 4 and 1. Oop. All right, it seems like everyone wishes to go see the gigantic statue of Auril.
All right.
Do you want to fight a snowman?
I mean, not particularly, but I think that's what it's getting down to.
Look, It's like I told you guys. Church of Auril built themselves a Gundam.
All right, and I'll ask you again. What the fuck is a Gundam?
Oh, I know this one. I know this one. It is not a condom.
Well, you are technically correct, Avalis. But no, a Gundam is a giant construct piloted by a humanoid that usually fights another construct piloted by a humanoid.
Oh, it just sounds like a fight with extra steps.
It is, but
Why doesn't the humanoid just fight the other fucking humanoid?
well, because usually these fights happen in space.
Okay, well, you and I are both in space right now, in a space.
No,
So why
Damon,
couldn't we
when
just have a fight?
when I say space, I mean up there, and she points right above her head.
If we think a fight's going to break out, I could summon some backup.
Well, maybe be ready to be summoned back up. Here's the thing: we're going into kind of a dicey situation. You know, us being prepared could be perceived as we're actually gonna fight, when it's just a case of the parties don't trust one another. So, I mean, prepare, but like, don't look like you're prepared. If that makes any bloody sense.
Right, I get what you're saying.
I mean, I could summon, say, I don't know, a saber-toothed kitty and just say it's a new pet.
Oh, yeah, that ain't fuck off aggressive at all.
Nice kitty.
Yeah, well, that little ball of fur ain't gonna play nice with the others.
Ideally, no.
Right, well, maybe we hold off on, going that route. I mean, if you can get close to statues, suss out what's up with it, and we can, come to an amicable resolution. I can't believe I'm saying all this shit. That would be best for all parties involved. However, if it comes down to a knockdown, drag-out fight, I want us to be on the right side of this thing.
Hopefully, Akia, you'll be able to shed some light on just what exactly is going on with this statue, and maybe if I can get close enough to it, Flavie might be able to provide some analysis of it as well.
Flavie will speak up. I will be prepared to access magical energy signatures and prepare readout.
Very good. Now that you will be communicating solely to me. I do not want anyone around to overhear.
Excellent. We'll keep information between us. Alrighty. Mashan will look to you all and say, be careful. You just returned, and now you're going to jump off into the depths of danger.
It's what we do.
Don't worry, Lady Mashan. We'll be sure that Avalis will be returned to you in one piece, which is with a wry grin.
If
Avalis smiles awkwardly.
assuming Avalis allows it, Kumikyu would find their head to be the most comfortable place to rest. And you'd look over to Avalis, and there'd be a Kumikyu sort of nesting in there.
Aww.
Important question. Where is the imp in all this?
Hello. The owl will speak up, as it was just casually, just chilling out on Lotus's shoulder this whole time.
Not an owl.
Yeah, definitely not an owl.
I am not an owl, it says in common, coming from an owl beak. Mashan freaks the fuck out. What the fuck?
All right, Mashan, it's a long... Yes, it's a long story that we can't really share with you right now, but it's a new mm, 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 acquaintance of mine. Yes, pet of mine.
Mashan will kind of like, blow some raspberries out, like try to like get herself situated and say, okay, well, she looks to your allies and asks, would anyone be willing to stay behind with me to just cover some things? And a lot of your allies will look to nod. Are there any of the specific allies that you wish to come with you? Or are you okay with your B team staying behind to do B team essentially planning?
Red, help Mashan.
I will do so.
Wait, do we all want to, like, get a good barrier too, just in case?
Ooh, yes, good idea.
Because, like, we went through a lot of resources recently.
Well, Red can produce a bunch of good berries for everyone. If y'all are needing some berries to get juiced up.
Well, it's not so much the juice, it's like everyone should have, like, a berry on them, so that way we can, like, rip it off a belt and, cram it up your ass or down your throat. So you come back into the fight, you know what I mean?
I don't think they're suppositories.
Those are two very
Alright,
specific
so
examples
where's
of
it going in on a Kia?
I did that before, remember? They have like the chest plate and that thing there. I'm sorry, Kia, I'm not very good with technical stuff.
You can just call it a port.
Yes, port.
Well, do you guys wish to use Red's B team ability now to have berries for the trip? Just in case a fight does break out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, Red can do so. Let's see here. If we look at Red's ability, they can cast the Goodberry spell once per long rest. So that means there are now 10 Goodberries. So you guys can split those up however you'd like. Does everyone want to have 2? Mashan would look back to you. Definitely not an owl. Back to Avalis.
Yeah, two berries sounds good.
All right, is everyone just going to have 2?
So Avalis will have Red break off a twig with 2 berries and give it to everybody.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Or,
Yeah.
don't rough up the lad.
Red says, I was actually in need of a kind of a pruning. I'm starting to get a little unwieldy. Just like you all would shave your beard, my branches are becoming a little bit too full.
He needs to literally landscape. No?
You'll see Gaiman kind of grumble at that. I can't grow a beard.
And for the record, I'm not trying to turn into fucking Grog. It's just that's how Goliaths are. They don't grow body hair.
They're aerodynamic.
If it helps, I can't grow a beard either.
Yeah, but at least you got hair on top of your head.
Yeah,
I
Watto,
too am lacking the ability to grow a beard.
Yeah, Watto, I'm kind of curious. Can Tabaxi grow a beard?
He nods. Yes, several breeds of tabaxi actually can grow quite thick beards. I have never tried myself. I like to keep myself quite well groomed. But I did meet a tabaxi, quite hairy with long ears that seemed to have a beard. It seemed like everywhere. See Maine Coon tabaxi that seems to just grow beards.
All right, we gotta take off so we can get some rolls going.
All right. Well, you each have 2 good berries, and you can exit the House of the Morning Lord. Your NPC allies will stay behind to keep Mashan company, and you can head towards the Church of Auril. Standing next to the Church of Auril is a 50-foot tall statue of the lady herself in almost exquisite detail. She has been carved and rendered in ice, snow, and what appears to be almost marble, with how beautiful it shines and glows in the almost blue fairy fire that seems to outline it.
That is impressive. Is it larger than the last time we saw it?
Far
It is larger, and it is completed. The last time you guys were here, I believe the statue was incomplete.
Yep.
The statue's fairy fire glows in certain spots that seem to make almost like runes along it. These runes seem to spell out words of power, giving reverence to Lady Frostkiss.
All right, yeah, got your back. Hopefully they aren't going to be touchy about bringing my weapons along. If they ask, weapons are my religion.
Sure. That sounds good. Alright, I assume that the rest of the party is somewhere like within 30 feet of us, and we're just sort of going up on our own, just a little bit closer.
No.
You're farther back?
No. Lisa's right up there.
Like, Lois would let you and Gaiman take the lead, of course, but she'd be literally right behind you.
Like 10 feet.
I thought we were going to like try and be, try and be subtle about this.
I mean,
This
we're
is
always
very much,
we're always traveling together, aren't we?
Not
yeah,
too
but
church, though.
greater numbers presents a greater threat, might generate a threat response. Listen, I'm just not trying to, poke the bear, as it were.
I also am not. I am much less comfortable going to examine the statue with you right beside me. If you want to approach it together, and one of you analyze the statue, that is also fine. But if I'm going to do it, I'd rather do it with a little bit more space.
Orpheus, if memory serves, there's a gate that we could hang out by, and it's like, 30, 50 feet away from where the statue is being built?
Absolutely. I can go to scenes, take us back there.
Because if Akia wants to have privacy, I think we should give it to him, and that will potentially seem less threatening. I don't know.
I get you. I get you.
And you get, y'all probably get the feeling this isn't so much of a weird religion thing as just an awkward attention thing for IKEA. This is just a regular.
No,
That's too
I got
much
it.
attention. Like I'm doing a thing and surrounded by people.
Too much. Yeah, no, I get it.
All right.
They just don't want to feel like a street entertainer with an audience, which would possibly attract more audience and then be surrounded by people, that sort of thing.
So, are we at the gate, or was it in a different place within the?
So,
fence?
this is the Church of Auril out in front of you. There seems to be acolytes quite all over the place, giving reverence to the statue. And why don't I know that you did this beautiful drawing, Nikia, but it's gone now, and I will put the actual statue on the map.
Oh yeah, I did draw that, didn't I?
Hey, I've had people draw, actual dicks on things, so you know what? I'll take it.
Draw me like one of your French gods.
I like that. I like a little Titanic in my D&D. So you all are in front of the Church of Auril. What do you do?
Yeah, so IKEA will just sort of wait on their response, just letting you know that Kia doesn't want to be attention drawn to them in that way. If y'all want to go look at it, that's fine. If you want IKEA to go look at it and examine it, they would like to not be surrounded.
Okay, why don't you go on by yourself, mate? We'll hang back.
Mm-hmm. Lotus will nod, and she'll just stay here and let you do your thing. She'll want you, of course, to go first before she starts, before she activates Flavy.
All right, I'm just waiting for the statue to pop up on the map.
Boop, 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 and it's there.
Loading. Oh, that's big.
Was she a big one?
I told you it's 50 feet tall.
Yep.
She a big girl. It's Miss Butterworth.
Damn, she's thick.
You hear someone from off screen, like it was a Adam Sandler movie. That's a huge bitch. As you all walk by.
All right, assuming everyone stays at the gate to hang out, IKEA will approach the statue and just sort of hoping to themselves that none of the acolytes approaches them, because
They approach you immediately.
Yep.
I don't know what you expected.
They say, the Midwinter Child has come. The Midwinter Child is here. And they begin to say prayers of Auril around you as you approach.
IKEA's just sort of like, there's other Midwinter children. You don't have to say the Midwinter Child.
They look to you and they say, don't you know? You are the last. You are the last. You are the last. You are the one that's promised. One that's promised. One that's promised. And Akia, thinking about it, you don't actually believe you've met anyone else who's born on the midwinter holiday. You met someone who said they were, but you don't actually believe that they were.
Okay, I'm freaking out right now. Like, OOC, getting a little chills with that.
I don't know what you're expecting, man. The second you walk towards that thing, of course you're gonna set off alarms.
No, but that's like.
Then
panic.
yes, the creepy cult chants. Yeah.
All
That
right. The Midwinter Child would like to commune with their goddess, and they can't do any of that if you're all clustered around him, pestering him with questions. So, why don't we line up in an orderly fashion, way over here. Walk with me, way over here by the door, line up nice and neat in a row. And when he's done, he will take your questions one at a time.
Can you give me a persuasion check?
Line up for autographs.
I kind of want to bullshit something, but I don't think I should, because that was just strictly me trying to think on my feet.
Line up for autographs. Remember, only one signed item per person.
God damn it!
They look to
So
you
close!
and they say, "We're sorry, but the Midwinter Child is here. We cannot let them be without us." And they all begin to say, "May Frost guide your path. May Frost guide your path. Guide your path."
Eamon is going to go up and he's going to grab one of the acolytes by the shoulders and look them deep in their eyes and squeeze their shoulders, just giving a little bit of pain, say, "No, really, I insist that you all line up and leave the child be."
Looks like it's almost time for Kitty.
I guess.
So I would like to try. I'm sure this will change the DC, but I would like to try to intimidate them, because as I'm holding one, you know what, I'm just going to pick them up and like put them like up, straight on eye level to eye level. So I'm holding them up in the air, making direct eye contact.
While simultaneously, Aki is going to try not to present panic. May I roll performance for that?
Yes, please do at disadvantage. To accurately portray how I believe Akia is feeling at the moment. So you
All
did a decent job.
All right, they are just really still and silent.
And Orf, may I roll intimidation using
Absolutely.
strength?
You can do an intimidation check upon this creature.
Oh my god, come on!
So they look to you and say, "The unworthy hands are touching the children of Auril. Unworthy hands, unworthy hands, unworthy hands." They all begin to say together. And then they begin to say, "Stay cold in heart and purpose. Stay cold in heart and purpose." Over and over.
Phrasing.
I think. I'm mixed. I think that due to certain circumstances, Akia might start getting angry.
Anyhow, as this is happening, the commotion seems to be causing stir within, as some of the acolytes have ran into the building, which is now even more outlined in that blue fairy fire.
You know what? Sorry, clearly a misunderstanding on my part. I'm just gonna fuck off right over here. Yeah, sorry, mate. You're on your own. I tried.
A door is opened slowly, and the acolytes within begin to say, "Frost guide your path. May Frost guide your path. May Frost guide your path." As Sybil starts to walk out, a smile covering her very grim face. Ah, the Thanes of Two Towns. Come to visit the statue of Auril?
Kia has. I would like to speak with you, Sybil, if we may.
Why, yes. I am always open for an appointment for you all. We have had such great talks in the past.
Let's just cut the bullshit.
Can we hear Alicia from where we are? Sorry to interrupt. Like, are you having a one-on-one, or is it like you're just sort of like showdown time projecting?
Oh no, I just walked over just to start talking. Like if you
Okay.
Civil, what is this?
This is a monument to Lady Frostkiss. A symbol of her protection.
Of her protection?
Yes. A protection of the region of Icewind Dale, of our very world.
I find it interesting that she decided to have this raised now, as opposed to, I don't know, when a Charlotte dragon was torching the other towns.
The gods of this world work in strange and mysterious ways, do they not?
They do.
Oftentimes, our ability to see their messages is not always clear. We interpret what comes. And this is what we have interpreted from the Lady Frostkiss, and how we shall proceed forward, spreading her message to all those who live in the region.
So, you have been receiving visions or missives from your lady. And they prompted you to redecorate the whole town?
Well, as we built the statue, as we made her visage real, it came to us what should happen. And as more and more saw its beauty, they have come to her side to join us, to be members of the children of Auril.
Are the acolytes actively chanting at
This
Akia?
whole time they've been chanting. They have been saying since Miss Sybil has kind of entered the building. They have been kind of saying over and over, which may be unsettling.
Oh,
May
it is.
Auril preserve you. May Auril preserve you. May Auril preserve you. Over and over.
Akia's eyes twitch again. Akia is starting to get angry and will put their hand on the statue and just mutter to themselves, just please shut them up.
As you put your hand on the statue, Akia, you feel a strange surge of energy kind of like into your body as your hand may have just brushed or came close to one of the arcane runes etched on the statue. Can you give me a charisma saving throw? Okay. Akia, as you fail this saving throw, you feel kind of the supernatural urge to join them in their chant.
How that is conflicting. because I want to join in their chant, but I also want to scream at them to shut up.
It's like when you hear a song on the radio that, you feel like you dislike, but then you're like, but
It's
I want
an
to party.
earworm.
I want to party in the USA. There's some dissonance here.
Yeah. All right.
Bless Weird Al Yankovic for coming up with a parody song for that.
I think with that and Akia's rising anger and their chanting, I guess Akia would start chanting with them, but at them angrily.
Mocking them?
No, just not so much mocking, but yeah, sort of. But just Akia will get louder and louder, just not mocking, not in a mocking tone, in a just a yelling tone, like how you would yell "shut up, shut up, shut up" at someone really loud that you were very angry with, but just the chant back at them, the "May Auril preserve you," and is just yelling at them now as they get angry yet also filled with this need to chant with them.
Yeah, Lotus would see your reaction, and she rushes forward slightly, but then stops herself, wanting to, remembering that she said that she was going to let you hear. So she'll stop herself, just like right beside Game, and just say, like, Akia, are you all right? What's going on?
Akia will turn to you, yell angrily that they're fine, and you'll see that the frost rime pattern has now stretched down across their neck, and then they will just start heading towards the gate.
All right, seeing that, your reaction
with the full intent to leave completely.
Lotus will look at the Auril statue and just think to herself, Flavy, analysis.
And only to you hear Flavy say, the statue is filled with an immense amount of divine energy. More energy than I have felt of this type. The energy seems to be radiating from the statue and out in a radio wave pattern, stretching across the entire city. Thanks to your innate magical abilities, the waves seem to not be able to penetrate your defenses.
Lotus nods and like she'll just cautiously just step forward and then stop here. And she'll call out to Sybil and just say, and where will you stop? Here? Targos? What remains of the other towns? And what then? Will you move past here, over the spine of the worlds? Sword Coast? Even beyond there?
The Lady of Winter, Lady Frostkiss, has no need for world domination. Nor do I seek it either. I only seek to spread her will where it needs to go. And I wait for her word on where we go next.
From everything that was previously said, I think throw an insight check on that.
Sure. And this whole time, chanting is happening by the children of Auril, and as long as your hand is in contact with the statue, you feel like you are being compelled to continue to chant Akia.
Akia is, if they are able to, they have, in a fit of anger, have just left. And what they would be doing if he's able to let go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you choose to let go.
Kia would, and they would walk out of the gate, and just depending on what happened in the next few seconds, they would find the closest building or object that's. Would they be followed by the acolytes, or do the acolytes stay at the church? Because that'll inform what he does next.
They are not following you out of the gates.
All right, then he would just find the nearest small cluster of like benches or trees or small building, and would just be walking around it, angrily muttering, "May Auril preserve you."
Wow. Okay. So yeah, you're able to essentially walk away. Does any of the party go after Akia, or do you guys all just let him go?
I'm probably still within sight, so it's not like Akia.
Yeah, I mean, so long as he's not wandering off by himself.
No, just having like a little. Doesn't quite look like a panic attack. Just
having an episode.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, Gamon's just gonna let him have his episode.
Do you think you would want to pet a kitty?
I don't know, and it's some seriously fucked up energy. I think things just need to work themselves out right now. This feels a bit tense.
Hearing the phrase fucked up energy, Lois would lean over to you. It's like, Gaiman, you have no idea how right you are.
Alicia, we've got that appointment. See the person about the thing. We really ought to, jog on.
Oh, I know exactly what Akia would do. Akia stops and summons Kuma, and then lays face down in the dirt and has Kuma lay on top of them.
Kuma will do so.
I've no fucking clue what just happened there.
Lady Sybil, keep in mind that I am still the Thane of this city. This city...
Careful.
Just like here. This city, which took me in, a complete stranger. Its people were kind to me when others wouldn't have been. And also keep in mind what I told you before. Statues tend to fall victim to gravity. Eventually. And then she will just turn and walk out.
Excellent. Do you walk out to meet up with Kumaku pinned Akia?
Yes. She is honestly very mystified by the sight and is just sort of trying to parse out what she's seeing right now.
I mean, I guess insight check if you want to.
Sure.
A key is weird, so I guess, but you, yeah, a key is weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know what Akia and Miss Lotus are up to at the moment. As they walk out, Sybil is doing I would call it a big sister from anime smirk at the moment.
Gaiman's just kind of looking around. He's got a shield on, and like his right hand's twitching, like he wants to grab a weapon, but he's like, "No, I told everybody that we shouldn't fight, but I really want to fight. I have no clue what we're doing right now."
The priestess of Auril will say, "Is that it? I do have quite a busy schedule."
Insight check 22.
Oh, insight check 22 on what she was saying. You believe.
I guess first, do I think that I'm considering using my Faxpiration? Do I think if I get a higher result, I would get more, or have I like beat the necessary DC, so to speak?
You should use your Faxpiration.
Okay.
She's got a good deception. She's a deceptive lady.
29.
29. Okay. With a 29, you believe that she is holding a lot of information back based on how she was saying things. Very tongue-in-cheek, very much trying to be deceptive in all parts of her sentence. What her true motive or intention is, you're not sure, but whatever it is, it can't be good, in your opinion. I shouldn't say in your opinion. That's just the feeling that you probably get.
Right. When Lotus was asking her the question of, spreading Aural's message beyond the spine of the world and to other regions of Faerun, did Alicia pick up? I mean, Sybil said that no, but does anything else give otherwise?
Yeah, you think that the message of Auril might be the goal is to spread it wherever living humanoids, living creatures walk. Where there is warmth, there should be cold, for that is the only way things can be beautiful, is if they are frozen. You've heard those Auralites say things like that in the past.
Well, I don't appreciate what it seems to be doing to the rest of the town. I will agree with you, Sybil. It is a beautiful statue. Hopefully it can stay that way.
Of course. Let it be an inspiration to all others who worship deities, that they should do something for their god, such as we have done for Lady Frostkiss.
Lathander does appreciate the arts, so I think, if anything, he would appreciate this. How it's being used, however, maybe not so much. We will speak again. Good day.
I welcome it, she says.
Orpheus, 2 questions. How tall is the statue again, and how tall is the church?
So the statue is roughly 50 feet tall, and the church let me check here. I believe it's two. So it's got an upper floor and a bell tower. So the statue is taller than the church itself.
If
Like
by
how
saying each
much
floor is like
taller?
what, 10 feet?
It's probably taller by a good 20 feet than the actual church.
Okay.
So that's by saying like each floor of the church is like 10 feet tall.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Alicia will rejoin the others, but will just briefly stop to look at the statue. Admire it for its beauty, but also disappointed with what it's being used for. Where is Akia and Lotus?
Lotus is looking after Nakia, who has buried himself face down in the snow, and Kuma is sitting on top of him.
Yeah, I'd say in the intervening time, Lotus would have approached and probably like kneeled down and just be like, Akia, are you all right?
I think he's acting like a small child. This has really been a lot for him.
I heard him
I've
yelling.
no clue how to deal with it.
Gaiman's looking around. Are there any? There aren't any other buildings that are taller that are within a reasonable distance of the church, are there?
As tall as the statue.
Or taller?
I would say the other building that is as tall or close to as tall will be the town hall of Bryn Shander, which is around a 50-foot building. It's got about 5 floors that they use for all sorts of various things.
Okay.
Alicia, how much Alchemist fire you got left?
Two bottles, but if
All
I
right.
have any sense of this thing, I don't know if it's going to do anything to it. Let's go find the key.
Well, I mean, he's right over there. It's a matter of getting him to come out from under his polar bear.
It's like, come on, Akia, say something. I'm concerned. I've never really seen you angry before. It's kind of scary, actually.
Something.
There you are. I see that he's not doing so well.
I'm fine.
Let's go to the council hall.
Yeah.
It just feels nice under here. I'm fine.
Lotus will repeat back and go to you, Alicia. It's like, yes, I don't want to say anything here, but Flavy did give me some information about the statue that is very concerning.
All right, that's enough of that. Gaiman is going to walk over to Kuma and kind of make shooing motions, see if he can get the bear to move.
Kuma
The
will
bear-
move, but they do seem a lot kind of sleepy.
All right, Gaiman is going to go and bodily pick up Akia and throw him over her shoulder.
Akia in giant will say, "Yay, I'm a princess."
Maybe just his eyes go wide, like, what the fuck?
Wasn't
And he's going to start marching in the direction of Town Hall.
Yeah, Lotus looks at your reaction, and because she doesn't know giant, it's like, what did they say?
Later, come on, we're going now, everyone. Chop chop.
Orf, you said that was there writing on the statue?
Yes, there are arcane glyphs that seem to glow, and their writing seems to be in reverence to the Frostmaiden.
Was it in any particular language, or?
It is written in Sylvan, if you guys have that as a language you speak.
I do.
I do not. Atlas, are you able to read what's on there?
Of course.
Or I guess the question would have been, can anyone read what's on there? And then you would be like, oh, I know that.
Excuse me, miss, I speak jive.
I've not heard
like
of that one before.
Oh, well, the language is written in Sylvan.
Oh, what does it say?
What does it say?
As spoken from a general sense, it gives praises and prayers to the Frostmaiden. It also goes in depth, telling of her ability to achieve where those who have fallen appears to be Umberly and Malar. It speaks of the bastard Thrym and all of the evil that he has committed, and how the Lady Frostkiss will correct the evil that Thrym has brought upon this world. It speaks of how beauty can only be seen in objects that are frozen. And it kind of details all of the missives of being an acolyte of the Frostmaiden.
It's a bunch of frozen nonsense and blasphemy. But if you want specifics, and then he'll say, all that.
Yeah, Alicia will take out a notebook and jot that all down.
Yeah, Lotus starts drawing it down in her notebook, but then she stops suddenly. It's like, beauty and frozen things. And what she's thinking, and she's like, my father. It's like, is that just... No, it's just a coincidence. No. She just shakes her head.
Well, the thing I'm more curious about is why it's written in Sylvan. That's usually the language of the Fae. I don't recall anything of her being associated with them.
She is sort of a goddess of the wild and nature, is she not?
True, but more of the wild, unpredictable, and more destructive side of nature. If Sylvanas is more of nature itself, then gods like Umberly, Malar, and Auril are of the wild and unpredictable side of nature. Blizzards, thunderstorms, landslides, stampedes, things of that nature.
Yes, the Oak Father would be very disapproving of gods gone wild.
More or less. I hate how I got that. Well, we should catch up with Gaiman and Kia.
I'm rather proud of that one, by the way.
Does Kia continue to say things in Giant to Gaiman along the lines of, yay, I'm a princess, or other weird utterances?
If you make conversation with Kia, you will get the impression that that was just a joke,
Okay.
and that they're pretty much just back to normal, but they'll stay over your shoulder until you put them down.
Oh, Gaiman's not putting you down till we get to the town hall. And along the way, he's doing his best Yosemite Sam impression. Just muttering and cursing and just angry that he didn't fight, but angry that, shit went sideways when he tried to, be smart about it. He's just angry about the whole situation.
But answering the other half of your question, it is still in Giant. 'Cause- 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 'cause But if you like ask them a question or something, they respond like they normally would, but it would be
Okay.
giant.
I mean, you can respond to whatever Gamon's saying, but he is not addressing what he's saying to anyone. Just God blasted oral nuns, fucking idiots, a lot of them. This is so fucking bullshit. Burn down the goddamn church, the fucking statue and everything. Just fucking hell. God damn it.
Can we burn down the church and keep the statue?
I don't give a goddamn blind shit what we do. This is bullshit. It shouldn't be fucking happening. So I caved in on all their fucking skulls. But no, I want to take the fucking hard road. No, yeah, that's what the new gaming, the better gaming should be doing. Yeah, using his fucking brain. I should be using my fucking axe to cave in their goddamn skulls.
Hey, Gaiman.
What?
Thank you.
What, mate?
Just for being there earlier.
What? Well, I mean, you'd be there for me if I needed help. So, yeah. They'd help you.
Akia nods.
You know, I could have the skies open up and smite the whole place with lightning.
Lewis looks over you. He's like, "Wait, you can do that?"
Yes.
She rubs her chin. You could tell she's definitely considering the option.
We need more information. We need to come up with a plan that minimizes casualties. There's got to be another way out of this.
All right. Well,
I would like to remind you all there is a thing called divine retribution.
Speaking of that, and I guess as we're getting close to town hall, Lotus will move in close to everyone, and Lotus will look around because she wants to be sure that none of the acolytes had followed us.
Yeah, give me a perception check to see if you notice any looky-loos. Well, Lotus, you aren't sure if you see anything. Alicia, you notice as you're looking around, as you guys have kind of walked off, that the streets, as you began to walk away from the church, have grown eerily silent, as it seems that as if the people themselves around you all seem to be looking at you, taking in what you've said, or trying to take in what you say, as they're all kind of staring down towards you all.
I'm
Perhaps
going
I'll
to just continue, and I'm just gonna shake my head and just say, like, not out in the open.
Yeah, Lotus nods like, yes, let's continue this inside.
I would also like to say that I do have the observant feat, so if anyone's talking some shit, I can see their lips. I'd like to know what they're saying.
Nice.
Just in case you need to go give somebody a paddling.
Talking shit about the party. That's paddling.
Indeed.
Paddling upriver in a canoe without a paddle. That's paddling.
Akia not quite yelling as loud as they were before, but exclaiming pretty loudly that they hate chanting. It is still in Giant. Just like, I hate chanting. It's pretty loud.
Gaming will reply in Giant.
Keep your voice down, mate. You're drawing attention to yourself. We need to be inconspicuous, which is a pretty fucking tall order right now.
Again, this is all in Giant.
Kia will look around, take note of what's going on, which they were kind of not paying attention to before, and go, "Oh, okay." And they'll get down from Gaiman's shoulder and try to walk.
Wait, hold on. You gotta behave yourself.
This isn't giant.
Yes.
No more tantrums.
As long as no one starts chanting at me.
Well, I'm not chanting at you, and nobody else is gonna be chanting at you.
Then yeah, I'm fine.
All right.
Gaiman will put you down.
Right. So I guess as we'll approach the town hall, Lotus will take the lead this time, and wanting to be cautious considering everything that's going on, she'll walk up to the door and just grab the knocker and just go boom, boom, and just wait to see who responds.
Now, you guys do notice that the outside of the town hall has been kind of decorated to follow suit with the rest of the town.
Oh, nine hells. Fuck a duck.
Well, if, at least from what Lady Michonne has told us, that the speaker and the sheriff are safe, but not that I don't trust her, but
Well, that she saw.
yeah, I'd like to save judgment until I see them with my own eyes.
While we wait for someone to approach the door, Arkia starts building one of those little statuettes of Auril, just next to the other ones along the sidewalk.
If there aren't any people like nearby, Gaiman will turn to the party and say,
Oi, so Alicia's got 2 vials of alchemist fire. What the rest of you got as far as that goes? We might need it.
Oh, I've got the one you gave me that I ended up not using against the hag. Figured I'd hold on to it in case it became useful later, which looks like it might.
Avalis, you got one?
Atlas kind of turns around and goes, one what?
A vial of alchemist fire. Come on, focus.
He looks through his belongings. No.
All right. Here. You got any vials of alchemist fire on you?
Oh, no. I threw mine at the hag. I missed.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
If the others do need them, they can take mine. I still have some balls of fire and walls of fire prepared.
Well, I'm just thinking in terms of like an IED, so yeah.
You want to make an explosive device?
You got any better ideas of blowing that fucking statue to Kingdom Come?
Oh, no, Gaiman. I agree with you completely. I just wanted to make sure we're thinking the same thing here.
The thing is, if we want to come out on the right side of this thing, I mean, that may not be the right move. Might want to do something else. Not to mention, we gotta watch out for collateral damage. I don't know if all those acolytes are really in their right mind. Whether they, joined up with the church willingly, or whether, they're compromised because they don't magic.
Lotus will nod and say, well, that is something about what Flavy told me, but, and, we're still outside, so she just says nothing more at the moment.
Oi, Flavy. Anyone tried to contact you recently? Last couple of days?
Transmission has not come through the Flavy network as of yet.
Alright, that's good.
it is possible that the statue may be interfering with that as well.
Oi, Flavy. Is that your method of energy communicating? Is that on the same level as what the statue's got? Might they interfere with one another?
The statue creates a massive amount of magical radiation. All forms of communication will be affected by being near the statue, including the Flavy network.
Alright, well, we've only had recent proximity, so it's probably alright. What is taking people so long?
Gaiman will do the cop open up knock on the door, since I'm assuming we knocked politely initially.
Yes.
Yeah.
You hear some boots start making their way down the hallway, and dramatically the door opens. Coming outside, you see a grim-faced guard looking out to you all. They are wearing the attire of the Frostmaiden. Blues, whites, and grays. A hood drawn down over their eyes. The guard says to you all, "Please, state your business."
Oh, yeah, we come to have a word with the sheriff and the speaker.
Yes, and Lotus will sort of light up her hand, just trying to be friendly. She's like, yes, as Thane, they are my guests here, and we are here on official business to see the sheriff and the speaker.
But we also understand we do not have an appointment, so if you could see if they've got availability.
The guard will nod. "I will see if Speaker Du Vesa Shane has a moment." And the guard will exit from your purview for just a moment.
Do they leave the door open?
The door is closed behind them. They seem to be... You notice there is quite an uptick in the level of security that these people are kind of using and participating in versus what they have been doing in the past. Like, they've tightened their shit up, yo.
Tighter than a dolphin's butt, this lot.
A few minutes later, the guard will appear and say, "The speaker is glad to hear that you are here and has been waiting to have words. Follow me." Oh, and I need to put us on the Bryn Shander map. Do you all exit?
How compelled am I to continue making this little statue?
That is completely on you. I mean, the compulsions left you the second you stopped touching the statue.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I get up and follow. How good's my
Lotus.
statue?
All right, yep. Lotus will walk down the hallway, following behind the guard, and she, as a journalist, she knows that one of the best ways of trying to get information is through making small talk. So she tries to do a little bit of that and says, everyone seems to be really into Auril these days.
The guard looks to you. "Lady
Phrasing.
Frostkiss has brought us protection and safety."
Mm-hmm. And how have the speaker and the sheriff been reacting to this whole thing?
They say, it is not my place to speak of those of higher station than I. Which is quite a strange thing for this guy to say, because, you know, when you've been in Icewind Dale before, people are like, fuck you, buddy. And then they're like, I'm not your guy, buddy. I'm not your buddy guy. Whereas now it seems like there's almost this, like, tension where no one would speak out, which is quite weird.
They'd be willing to shoot the shit and talk gossip, but now it seems like everyone's a little more
Yeah.
tight ass.
Yeah, Lotus would definitely pick up on that, and she's like, very well. But she wouldn't pry further into it. She's like, very well, very well. So, tell me, how are you doing? Last I remember, you were thinking about proposing to your boyfriend. You, still thinking about that? Just sort of like gauge a sense of self there.
Wait, my brain just may have just needed a hard reset. Who
No,
were you asking that to?
To the guard. It's basically she's asking this to try to sort of see like how deep the influence of Auril is on him, to see if how much of himself is still there.
The guard will look to you and in almost a kind of a strange mannerism, pull their hood tighter and say, "May the frost guide your path." As you guys finish the final few minutes of the walk up to the office of the speaker. Akia, can you give me a roll for your statue? You can give me a crafting type roll.
Oh, okay.
See how good of a statue you made. It was a pretty damn good statue, or pretty damn good snowman.
All right. Throw in one of those runes in there.
Okay, so you guys are now at the office door to the speaker and the sheriff. The guardsman will open the door and kind of show you inside.
Do they make Kuma wait outside?
Kuma was allowed to go inside.
Oh, yay. This is my emotional support bear.
They ask, but is it your service bear?
And where are your papers?
Akio will just
They don't ask you that. I was just kidding.
Okay.
Because that's what they ask you at the restaurants now. If you show up with your support animal, they're like, okay, is it a support animal or is it a service animal? If it's the other, you know, we'll let it in. If not, get the fuck out. That was my experience at the Chipotle. Anyways, Duvisa Shane and Markham Southwell are sitting within the speaker's office, deep in conversation when they see you arrive. And they welcome you in quickly. They say, "Quick, Thanes, come inside."
All right, she does, and she'll, after everyone comes in, Lois will shut the door, and Lois will look at them, and it's like, are they in the garb of Auril as well?
They are in their normal garb.
All right, so Lotus, seeing that, she does let out a sigh of relief, and she does relax a bit, and she'll quickly stride over towards them. It's like, what's in the name of the nine hells is going on here?
In the few days that you were gone, Markham Southwell will say, there was a uptick in the production of that statue they made. And as it was being built, people from around town just started flocking to it, worshipping it, and becoming members of the church. There's barely anyone left in Bryn Shander that's not a member.
Yes. Well, before coming here, we did go by the church for Auril so we could see it for ourselves. And we have seen the effect it has had on the rest of the town. The bad news is, she hesitates for a moment because she's still not sure how they might react to the whole Flavy thing, so she leaves that out. But our investigations have revealed that it does seem to be radiating divine energy. That the closer you are to it, the stronger it is, and that seems to be what is helping to exert that influence of the townsfolk.
The speaker pounds her fists against the desk and say, "Dragons and yetis, and now this. Are we cursed? Have the gods completely forsaken us?"
Regardless of how the gods may feel, I will assure you, Speaker, Sheriff, that we, and she'll hold her hands out, motioning to all of you, certainly have not.
The sheriff will say, "I've been in battle with you all. I've fought creatures. I've bled with you all. How do you stop this thing? What's the plan?"
Damon, I believe you had a plan for something that you could share with the sheriff.
The sheriff looks on in anticipation.
Sheriff Gamon's still there.
As the sheriff looks around, he will say, "And that's not even counting for all the people that have been going missing in the last few weeks from that damn Red Yeti."
That was one of the things that we were going to start looking into when we had returned. But then we heard about this and need to investigate it.
I'm guessing nobody heard what I said.
Oh no, if you were trying
Nope.
to talk, you were on mute.
Sorry.
All right.
All good?
No, I was using push to talk, but it was doing that thing where it didn't want to work after a minute. But no, Gaiman was saying that so we have to do more research, but figuring out a way to, destroy the statue. And after suggesting it, he turns to the key and apologizes.
Akia just looks at you and just sort of shrugs. Whatever has to be done. It's in giant.
Gaiman nods. So yeah, I mean, again, it's magical. I don't know if there might be like a release of energy if it's damaged or destroyed, but I'm thinking like if we can get oil or other combustibles involved. Do you have any siege engines here, like catapults and whatnot?
They look to you and the sheriff will say, "No, we don't have anything like that. The last of those were destroyed, almost an age ago, when Bryn Shander was attacked by the combined forces of the Reghed Tribes. It took 10 towns banding together and the legendary heroes of the Mithril Hall to drive them back. And in the battle, much of that type of objects were destroyed."
Gaming, if you want to wait a couple days, I can probably finish Lucille.
So Gaiman's got a 19 intelligence, so I feel like maybe he would know this. Would we know how far away the Goblin encampment is? Goblin City?
Yes, let me pull up the secret map of these locations just to boop. Okay. Oh, I finally I see the two now. Okay, so we are here in Bryn Shander. You're looking at a distance of roughly 40 miles to Carthalok. Carcolok, I should say. Yeah, about 40 miles from Bryn Shander.
Okay. And how long would it take us to get there with the dogs fully rested?
Good question. Let me do some quick math. Let's see here. You're looking at roughly 12 hours on the dogs to get there.
I mean, we could go call on the goblins, see if they could give us a hand if we needed more bodies. But then again, I don't know if getting more people involved in this fight is the right answer. Might make matters worse.
Yeah. I think a head-on fight, as much as I'm wouldn't mind just walking up and just blasting the thing to pieces. There has to be something we can do, like you said, to minimize potential casualties and collateral damage here. 'Cause
In Giant, Keel will say, you could build a wall around it first.
Gaiman will respond in kind in Giant and say,
Yeah, but, how would we do that without being stopped?
Just thinking out loud.
Fair enough.
Is something wrong? You have been speaking in a different language for quite some time now.
Oh, no, we were just talking in Giant. Kia suggested maybe building a wall around the statue before we try and light it up. I said, well, with what time? Now, we couldn't build something without being stopped by Sybil and her lot.
Oh. In common, Akil will say, oh, was I? I'm sorry. I didn't notice.
Are you alright, Akia? You were shouting.
Yeah, I was angry. I didn't like the chanting, and now I'm just a little sad. But I'm okay.
Would it require any type of check into Akia to know if that's true or not. Passive insight is 8.
Yeah, your passive is enough to know that Akia is not trying to deceive you in any way.
Mm-hmm. But is he actually believing that he is fine, or is his like body language like a little bit different?
Akia believes that they're fine.
Okay.
That they believe that they were angry and now they're just sad that the statue needs to be destroyed. And you would maybe notice that the frost / rime pattern on their face has grown quite a bit, but it since arriving in Bryn Shander, but has stopped. It's not currently growing.
They won't press any further. They'll kind of return back to the conversation at hand. So, one of the ideas was to make contact with the Goblin tribe to the south.
Yeah, see if they can help. They've got technology, bodies, but getting them involved means we're putting ourselves up in direct conflict with the rest of Bryn Shander, and that is going to have irrevocable, not permanent consequences.
I would agree with you there.
I'm thinking like we need allies to keep those that might be harmed back, but then again we don't know to what extent that energy release is going to do damage, and so maybe we just leave the whole business of the statue alone until we have time to figure it out, and we just go after Sybil directly, some way somehow.
Lotus thinks for a moment, and she decides to, even with the sheriff and the speaker listening, she's like, well, maybe Flavy knows something, and she'll sort of tap aside to activate, speakerphone, say, Flavy, with that amount of divine energy from the Auril statue, any hypothesis on what would happen if it was destroyed?
If the statue was destroyed using a sizable explosion, a catastrophic explosive event would be most likely to occur, as the energy within the statue would be pushed outside of the statue.
When you say catastrophic, you mean destruction?
Yes, if you can imagine, 50-foot statue emanating the divine energy contained within would be similar to accessing Lotus memory banks to an atomic bomb.
And as Flavy says this, you see her face go, white, but like even whiter, like pale at that.
What's an atomic bomb?
Did we even hear that?
Oh, sorry. Did we hear that? That's probably a better question. I heard speakers, so I was like, "Oh, this is now speakerphone."
She activated the speakerphone, so like everybody could hear it.
Okay, we weren't sure whether you were just pushing to talk, or whether you were broadcasting. So
So it's and even the speaker and the sheriff would have heard that.
So everyone is looking at Lotus. What is an atomic bomb?
Yeah.
It's a highly destructive weapon that is so powerful that the nations of my worlds have only used it a handful of times, and even then, the destructive power of it it trails off for a moment. It could destroy an entire city, the people in it, and everything. Then, and even those that survive are scarred immensely, and the radiation and she just trails off and stammers, just very distraught.
Hmm.
God. Okay.
Noted. So
Akia,
would you like me to look into countermeasures?
Yes, please.
Beginning search. Kia, you were going to say something?
Akia will quietly say, "Do you think we might be being listened to?"
You mean by...
There are other people in this building that have become devotees of Auril.
Hmm,
Orf, would I believe that were the sigils on the statue physically present or just magically? Because in my head, I kind of like just imagine these magic sigils, but just to clarify, are they physically present, like etched into the ice? And if so, would I think that I could uh like disable them, like slowly disable them?
They are present under the surface of the statue. So you'd have to break through the surface of the statue to get to the runes.
And quietly, Akia will say, "It is possible that," and then say that we could possibly break through the surface just deep enough to disable the runes. If we did it slow enough, there wouldn't be a sudden release of energy. Possibly. Or there might be a chain reaction failure that causes it all to be released in what time. You never know until you try.
Or at the
Mhm.
mentioning of, possibly other people listening in, Alicia's going to uh, draw some sigils in the air, and then with like a flash of light, a little small orb appears and then disappears as I am casting Arcane Eye. And I'm gonna start sending my little CCTV camera all throughout this building and start seeing if there's anyone who's trying to look at us.
I got your own little surveillance drone.
Yep.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, we will have to see the results of the Arcane Eyes search in our next session of Rime of the Frostmaiden.
If I could just ask real quick, what is the speaker and the sheriff's reaction to like Flavy speaking out?
Well, they flip out because they weren't expecting your face to start talking. But
I kind of figured.
of all of the things that has happened, like it's relatively tame.
Speaking of tame, I should have summoned the kitty.
Yes, and the one thing that might influence you guys, or I'll leave you with this. Flavy would say, from my databank, the only thing that I can think and come up that would counteract the magic of this statue is the direct and unbreaking light of the sun, which Icewind Dale has not seen in quite some time. And that would be the last piece of information you get. So, thank you everyone for coming out to play this evening. I hope you guys had a fun time. I know that not many dice were rolled. I know that no combats were had, but I felt like it was incredibly tense. The tension was high, as you guys have discovered that Bryn Shander is now in the deep throes of the Frostmaiden. Cool. Well, I am planning to be here next week on the 15th. I don't think there's anything that will get into the way so that we can continue our adventures in Icewind Dale. Perhaps we'll see. The Red Yeti is still an issue. Murdering, eating people, and the location, perhaps you can find where this Red Yeti is said to be hunted next time. Or maybe you guys want to continue to deal with the statue. Whatever your choice. But it seems like the longer that statue in the church is allowed to hang around, the more influence and people it will turn to its will.
It was a good game. And I did want to say that we have, I forget exactly when it was, but we have actually passed a year.
Absolutely. And it has been a fun time with you guys. I know that this adventure has probably been kooky and crazy, and I'll tell you this. We've added some content. We may have taken some content away, and we have just, I don't know. It's been a lot of fun for me. So before we sign off, does anybody have any closing words?
To add on to what Marcus just said, we are year in, just shy of 50 sessions. This would have been number 47.
There we go. I love it. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to head to bed. I hope that you guys all have a good week. I'll be active in the Discord. If anybody has any questions, hit me up. If there is anything you guys need me to do, just throw it in the to-do list, and I will make that to-do happen.
Thanks for running.
My pleasure, guys. See ya.
Night.
All right. I'm going to be heading out too. Good game. Good night, everybody, and see y'all next time.
Night.
Yep. Have a good
Night,
night.
everyone.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Guys, next time.